All right, I'm going to show you how to set up a website account in Plesk. So go ahead and log in. And once you're logged in, go ahead and go to the customer tab here and click add a customer. Then you'll just need to put in the contact information of the person you're doing. I'm going to do Joseph West. He was actually our old vice president back in the day. So this is just a fake one to kind of demonstrate. Let's grab the email address. And I'll grab the company name. And we'll grab the phone number. Great. I'm not going to worry about this address part right now, but that's generally a good thing to include as well. But here's where we get to sort of the meat of things. Here's the username and password. I'm going to grab this X number. That's generally what we use for the usernames because they need to be unique. It can be other things besides the X number, but this is just a good way to kind of ensure that everyone has a unique Plesk username. So we'll do that. And then we just generate a password. We'll take a look at it. Then what I will generally do is I will grab like a notepad or something, and I will just copy and paste it right into that notepad like so. And then you have it written down, and then we can put it in the password manager when we're done. But this makes it easy in the meantime. So this old website was majesticscenes.com. I'm going to put that here, but instead of just doing Majestic Scenes, I'm going to say new.majesticscenes.com. That's a subdomain. And a lot of times when we start a new website that has an existing website already, we'll use something like new to kind of differentiate it. So we can build it there and then keep the old site up until it's done. And then we point www over when we're finished. Then I can just kind of grab the same username and password right here. This is the username. This is for access to Plesk, and this is the subscription. I'm not honestly sure what the difference is, to be honest, but I just always make sure I use the same one in both places. Then we can just go ahead and hit OK. We can issue a certificate at this point, but I'll usually do it afterwards just because if there's any problems, it's easier to tell what the problem was. So I'm going to click OK. And this generally takes a few seconds. Okay, great. Now we have a new account right here, Joseph West, Majestic Scenes. If I click on this, the next thing we want to do is set up a WordPress account for him. Okay, so there's three things we're going to do here. We're going to change the PHP version. Then we're going to issue a SSL certificate. And then we're going to install WordPress. Okay, so I'm going to change the PHP version, and there's a couple of things I want to do. I'm going to click here and go to 7.2. You might have a newer version by the time you see this, I don't know, but probably the most recent version is a good way to go. Then I change the upload max file size from 2 to 4. Sometimes you could go even higher, but usually 4 is sufficient. And finally, where it says pm.maxchildren, instead of 5, that's a very low max. So I'm just going to say like, 35. Then I'm just going to hit OK. And you'll see it will be applied in a moment. The next thing I'm going to do is install an SSL certificate. This is really simple with Let's Encrypt. The only thing I do is I change usually the email address from theirs to be like maybe one of ours, because then it sometimes sends them weird notifications that confuse them and they don't need to know about anyway. And then they call in and wonder what's going on. So we'll just, change it to something like this, or admin, whatever. And then you might include www. Just kind of depends what you're accomplishing. You might also include webmail if they're going to be having email with us. And then you hit install. I'm actually not going to do this right now because we don't actually have this domain name at the moment, but that's okay. Let's see. So next step is we're going to install WordPress. So the way I do it is I click on Install Apps. There's an Install WordPress button. Don't use it because it doesn't give you enough options. It just installs it immediately, and you're not going to have an optimal result. So we're going to go with featured applications, install, and I'm going to click custom. I'm going to click accept the terms of license agreement. And I'm going to check automatically update this app when updates are available. And then I'm going to go and grab this again and just stick it in here. And I'm going to give the site a name. We'll just call it Majestic. And usually I will change the database to have a couple of letters in it, maybe like Majestic Scenes, or whatever. Doesn't really matter. It just helps the security a little bit. It makes it harder for someone to hack the site. Then we hit install, and now it is installing the WordPress account. Looks good. Now I'm just going to click here, and we're back to where we started. Now, normally I'd be able to click open and then see the WordPress account, but I realized after I started this tutorial that we don't have this domain anymore. So that was a mistake, but that's basically the process. Normally you would now see a WordPress account. You could log in, set it up. I'll probably make another video showing how to get started with a new WordPress account, how to log in, change permalinks, etc. So look for that. Thanks.